That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, where we break down the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin dating back to his debut in December of 1995. And right now we are moving along through his career, and we are currently at April of 1999, and we're covering Backlash from April of 1999 this week. I'm Mike Brew, along with JV. JV, what's up this week?
Doing well, man. You know, we're looking forward to this episode. We're moving from the Midwest here in 1999 all the way up towards New England for Backlash and into the Raw after Backlash.
Yeah, so up in here in New England for these episodes, you're going from Michigan to Providence and then to Connecticut. So yeah, local, local for us. Not that
Which is like the home base tour for WWE.
Yeah, it is.
And they do this little run over here.
Exactly. Right, they would do New York and Connecticut, New Jersey and such. Yeah. So anyway, last week we covered episode 46, and that was Rudy Poo Bridge. So we had the incident where Stone Cold gets dumped into a river by The Rock. And they build up to this match here, Backlash. And The Rock tosses the Smoke and Skull title into the river also. So that's kind of where we left off last week. So we'll be picking up from there on Raw 308. And we last left off covering the Heat from April 18th. But now we're on Raw 308 from April 19th, which we'll get to in just a minute. But before we get to that, I also want to bring up that JV and I do the Extreme ECW livecast. And this week, today, if you listen to this on the debut day, we are dropping episode 8, which is covering Hardcore TV, episodes 15 and 16 from July 20th and July 27th of 1993. So what we do on the Extreme ECW livecast, we do it watch-along style, and we started from the very first episode in April of 1993, and we're now here at the end of July in 1993. And this is exclusive to the Booking the Territory podcast Patreon feed, their $5 tier. So if you want more of JV and I talking wrestling, you want to learn more about the Extreme Championship Wrestling at the time known as Eastern Championship Wrestling, check that show out on the Booking the Territory Patreon feed. So without further ado, let's get to why we're all here, and that is for Stone Cold and Raw 308 from April 19th, 1999. This was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it was taped on April 13th, 1999. So to start this episode of Raw, there's a nice recap of the whole Smoke and Skull belt feud. And we talked about it the past couple of episodes here on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, where Austin wants his belt back, and Shane McMahon's playing keep away with it, and The Rock gets a hold of it, and The Rock challenges Austin to find him on the Rudy Poo Bridge on Candy Ass Lane or Candy Ass Lake, whatever it is. And Austin finds him, and they start fighting on the bridge and gets tossed off the Rudy Poo Bridge, and then the belt gets tossed in there also. And this is just days away from Backlash, where they're going to have their rematch from their great WrestleMania match where Austin regained the title. But it's still as if he's chasing his title because he doesn't have the belt he wants. So here we are. So the promo is going to be The Rock. We're going to listen to a Rock promo first here. And he's going to come out kind of doom and gloom about Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's going to appear with a hearse. So let's take a listen to The Rock for a couple of minutes, and then we'll talk about it.
Very callous. Look, very uncaring.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, last week on Raw, The Rock took your little title. He threw it over the bridge, along with your career, and he took your candy ass and threw you so damn far over that bridge, you ain't never coming back. So The Rock buried your title. The Rock buried your career. So tonight, what is going to happen is The Rock is gonna bury your dead monkey ass.
What? We're gonna have a funeral here tonight. Huh.
That's right, Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's gonna be an old-fashioned funeral with The Rock delivering the damn eulogy. Now what we have over here is we have a little casket for your dead monkey ass. We got your little flower.
Crowd chanting for the rattlesnake. Forget it. It's supposed to be quiet at a funeral. It's a solemn occasion. What? Look at this.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, just in case you didn't understand what is going to happen tonight, is there will be a funeral and you will be buried at the bottom of The Rock's feet where you belong, 6 feet under. And it will almost feel as good as when The Rock took your piece of trailer park trash body, threw it over the bridge, and he heard the splash. And as far as for The Rock knows, is you could have drowned. But the fact of the matter is this, is that The Rock couldn't get 3 drops of monkey about it.
Rock means business, JR. Well, you're right about that.
You can chant Austin all you want. Fact of the matter is this Sunday on pay-per-view Backlash, when The Rock whoops your candy ass and he walks out the WWF champ, you'll realize exactly why. The Rock is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best damn WWF champ there ever was.
Well, The Rock has just guaranteed that he's going to bury Stone Cold Steve Austin right here tonight on Raw.
All right, so The Rock drives down to the ring in a hearse. Jerry Lawler and JR are hyping up the main event for Backlash, and Shane McMahon's going to be the special guest referee for that match coming up. And JR mentions a promo that The Rock cut. JR interviewed The Rock the night before, and we talked about that last week on our Rudy Poo Bridge episode. And The Rock was being a real prick about what he did to Austin. And he didn't care if he died or not. So The Rock is back out there, and he has this...
Very grim,
yeah,
The Rock.
Right, he has this hearse. He has the whole Buried Alive set. Like if it was a Buried Alive match, they have that fake mound up, and they have a coffin out there. So you would think this is like an Undertaker angle, but it's The Rock and Stone Cold doing this Buried Alive gimmick here. So The Rock is, The Rock says, The Rock buried your career, so tonight what's going to happen? The Rock is going to bury your dead monkey ass. So you get a shot of the casket, and there's a picture of Austin surrounded by flowers like it's his funeral. Says, that's right, Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's going to be an old-fashioned funeral, and The Rock is giving a damn eulogy. So The Rock walks over to the funeral set, he points to the flowers, the crowd's chanting Austin big time at that point. The Rock climbs up the dirt mound. Says, Stone Cold Steve Austin, there will be a funeral tonight, and you'll be buried at the bottom of The Rock's feet, 6 feet under. And we know from the last Buried Alive match that it's a 6 feet hole.
No. It's like 4'6".
Yeah, not even close. So he says it'll be almost as good as when The Rock took your piece of trailer park monkey ass and threw you over the bridge. And you could have drowned, but the fact of the matter is The Rock couldn't give 3 monkey drops of shit. He loves his monkey ass, monkey shit.
Hey, why did they bleep it out? Did you notice that?
Whenever it's taped, whenever it's a taped episode, They bleep it out. So the live ones, they don't do anything. But this was taped the previous week.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
So the crowd's hot for Austin, of course, and he says, you can chant Austin all you want. The fact of the matter is that this Sunday on the pay-per-view at Backlash, when The Rock whips your candy ass, he walks out the WWF champ, you'll realize exactly why The Rock is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best damn WWF champ there ever was. So The Rock has promised and he'll give a eulogy later in the night. So throughout the episode, we're going to see The Rock in the backstage. He's like walking around practicing his eulogy. There's one point he's getting his shoe shined by a girl. He's being a dickhead to her. There's another point where there's this WWF.com production girl that comes up, wants to do an interview with The Rock. Nice rack, by the way, I had to point out. The Rock tells her he's getting ready for his eulogy, and then he calls her a skank. Get out of here, you skank. Haven't heard that word in a while.
No.
But
we did. Yeah, we did.
We did?
We heard it last week.
Was it last week with skank?
Yeah. Or the week before, but it was, that's not a long time.
All right, fuck, I don't remember.
Remember the Blue Meanie going up the ramp?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I think of Ryan Shamrock.
Yeah, it's Ryan Shamrock. Yeah, you're right. Well, skank's getting over at that time. You can't use it today, though. Not even joking. Unless we're talking to each other. We can't refer to anything as a skank. But it's funny because as I am oftentimes when I'm taking the notes for the show, Alex, my wife, is in the room with me, and that just popped out to her. The Rock's just like, "Hey, you skank." And she was like, "What the hell is that?" So that was surprising to her.
Yeah, what's the big deal? It's a word.
Right. Skank.
There's no hate behind it.
No, it's just that you like fucking.
I don't think it's hate.
Yeah, it's
like ridicule.
I guess it's degrading.
Yeah.
All you do is fuck people. That's all you're good for. I guess that's what it would mean. All right, so The Rock is going to have his eulogy. That's going to come at towards the end of the show, 1 hour, 26 minutes. So let's listen to the opening of this here, The Rock's eulogy for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
We're waiting the arrival of Austin. We'll let you know the minute he gets here.
Was he out there? Where is he?
Not here yet.
Right.
I stress yet.
Be quiet, man. Show some respect for the dead.
He ain't dead.
Dearly Trailer Park Trash.
Never heard a eulogy like this.
We are gathered here tonight to celebrate the loss of the biggest foul-mouthed, beer-swilling, finger-gesturing piece of monkey crap that has ever graced God's green earth.
This is an honest eulogy.
Oh, come on. What audacity. Total lack of respect.
You got a Kleenex?
Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock bows his head in reverence as life's eternal question will finally be answered. Will your Rudy Poo fit in that damn casket?
That's what we want to know.
Unfortunately, Austin, it appears that vision will have to wait until Backlash to become a reality. And since The Rock knew
this is a long eulogy,
that your candy ass wasn't gonna join him here tonight, The Rock brought something else here to bury.
Uh-oh.
You're talking about that photo?
The Rock will never let us down. He's always
Hey, wait a minute. That's a Smoking Skull belt.
Wait a minute.
That lying son of a gun.
I thought he threw it in the river.
Oh, everybody did. He lured Austin to that bridge, and he never threw the damn belt.
You see, Stone Cold Steve Austin, throwing this off the bridge just wasn't good enough. The Rock is gonna bury this piece of trash you call a belt 6 feet under and let it rot just like your damn career.
This is great.
Austin, you better smell what The Rock is cooking, because at Backlash, the Brahma Bull is gonna come out snorting. At Backlash, the Brahma Bull is gonna come out spitting. And at Backlash, the Brahma Bull is gonna take his horns and spear them right in your candy ass.
Well, you got it to do there, challenger. Remember that. You're the challenger this Sunday at Backlash.
He's The Rock.
Well,
look at that pelt.
All right, so throughout this entire episode of Raw, they've just been pointing out, like, Austin's on his way. Austin's on his way. He's going to be here tonight, and he hasn't come at this point. And it's the last minutes of the episode. So Austin hasn't come yet, but we know he'll show up here. So the Rock's out there. He has a picture of Austin from that gravesite from earlier in the night. He has a speech on cue cards, and he's reading. He starts off, dearly trailer park trash. And then the Rock bows his head in reverence, and he asks, will your Rudy Poo candy ass fit in that casket? So the Rock, he brought something else to bury. He's gonna bury the picture in honor of Austin. And the Rock reveals he's gonna bury the Smoking Skull belt. He takes his coat jacket off, and his suit jacket rather, and reveals that the Smoking Skull belt is right around his waist. So
cocky.
So he got the belt back, or he didn't throw it in the first place. Maybe he threw something different. They don't really explain that. But as I said last week, it seemed like there was a boat coming right away. You could hear it very faintly. So, hey, maybe The Rock had a boat ready to go get it after he threw it. But that wouldn't make any sense. So, whatever the fuck, he has the belt still. And this is supposed to piss Austin off. He said, throwing this off the bridge wasn't good enough. Trying to mimic the I don't know why anybody else can't just get and they always say
Yeah, I know. That's annoying.
It's pretty clear.
It's like that's his thing.
You're right.
Yeah, it's It's not Like what the fuck? He's not Elvis.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The Rock's gonna bury this piece of trash 6 feet deep under and let it rot like your career. At Backlash, the Brahma Bull is coming out snorting, spitting. The Brahma Bull is going to take his horns and shove them up your candy ass. And then at that point, Austin arrives. And Austin's going to arrive, as he likes to, in a special vehicle. And he's bringing this one back from a while back. He's bringing back his monster truck. So Stone Cold's got his monster truck here, his 316 monster truck. And he's driving in the parking lot. But let's listen to the audio of all this action that goes on with the monster truck.
We got it. Hey, wait! There's Austin! What the hell is that? There's a rattlesnake! What is he trying? I told you he'd be here! I told you the rattlesnake wouldn't let you down! Where did he get that? My God, it's a monster truck!
Is that the Rock's car?
Yes, sir. It's
That's the Rock's car.
He wanted me to make sure I kept an eye on it. It's brand new. He made damn on sure.
Are the keys in it?
Yes.
The keys are in it.
Yeah. I don't think he wants you to touch it, though.
Oh, okay, but thank you for your help.
Oh, the rattlesnake getting in the Rock's new car. What is he doing? That's the Rock's car. He's stealing the car. He is stealing the Rock's car. Call the cops. Now see that, JR? That's the kind of WWF champion you got. A car thief. What? I think he spoke too soon. Where's he going? That's the Rock's new Lincoln. What? Oh, Rattlesnake's got something on his mind. Wait a minute. You don't think?
Rod! Austin, that's a Rock's car. You don't even think about it. That's a Rock's car.
King, you don't think that? Here he goes. He's going to run right over that. Oh, man. I thought Austin was going to run right over that new Lincoln.
Your candy ass is lucky, Austin. That's a Rock's car. Custom made for the great one.
About a $40,000 Lincoln there, ain't it, King?
He's backed up.
Oh, no.
That was $37,000.
Oh, he's going to do it again! doing, JR? Oh, hell, he's coming our way. The rattlesnake's coming our way. He's coming in here. Get up. Unhook me. Austin's driving that monster truck right in here to the arena. Listen to the ovation.
Well, you damn right. You bring it back.
He's crazy. Austin's toying with a rock right now. I knew he'd show up. The rattlesnake will never let you down. You damn right. Oh, hell yeah, he's here.
All right, so Austin arrives in his monster truck, and he pulls over. He asks the parking lot attendant if a certain car belongs to The Rock. and the guy's like, yeah. And Austin says, are the keys in it? And the car attendant, the parking lot attendant says, yes, but I don't think he wants you to touch it. And then Austin slyly replies, okay. Thank you for your help.
Totally doesn't address the guy's comment.
Right, he's like, okay, yeah, I heard what you said, but
basically, fuck off, buddy.
but thank you. So Austin totally dismisses the dude. He gets in the car, the Lincoln, and then he parks it in the middle of the parking lot, middle of the stretch of a parking lot. Then Austin gets back in the monster truck and then fucking runs it over. And that was badass. And you know it's Austin driving it too. It's like legit. Yep. He learned how to do it. He fucking crushed the car.
Badass. That's a badass monster truck. It sounds so cool too as he's pulling it up.
Yep.
Fucking, it's cool.
I'm always afraid the shit's gonna tip over. It looks like, you know.
Yeah, but look how wide those wheels are.
Right. So Austin runs it over, and then he drives into the arena, like right into the arena, and goes right up through the aisleway. So obviously they planned ahead, and there's no ramp this week.
Yep.
So Austin revs the engine. The Rock is losing his shit. Austin gets out. He cracks open a beer. Austin gets back in the truck. He backs up, and then he crushes the hearse, too. So fucking double whammy this time. It's awesome. So
yep.
After the audio that we played for you, it continues on. Austin gets out. He runs at The Rock. The Rock starts swinging the smoking skull belt, and he misses Austin. Austin nails The Rock. Tosses him into the guardrail. He throws him into the hearse. He throws him into the monster truck tire. They go up onto the mound. They battle on the mound. Austin takes the belt, whacks The Rock with the belt, and Rock falls into the grave hole. And Austin has his belt back now. But won't last for long. Okay, Austin has his belt back. He's dumping beer on The Rock. And he says, you know, the rattlesnake is ready for Backlash. That's what JR is saying on the commentary. As Austin's reclaimed his property. His property, you know, we talked about that last week. They're referring to his belt as property. But then JR, he doesn't want to play that shit. He says he's reclaimed his smoking skull belt. So he mentions belt.
JR, the straight shooter.
Yep. Like, I'll say property, but then I'm saying belt too. Fuck you, McMahon. So Shane McMahon comes out of nowhere, breaks a shovel across Stone Cold's back, right at the very end. He drops the belt. Shane grabs the smoking skull belt and then raises it up as the show ends. And that's what leads us to Backlash. Fucking great segment. And that very last part of Shane McMahon screwing him and getting the belt back again was nice because Shane McMahon's going to be the special guest referee. So it's good to get him in the mix here. So pretty damn good segment to lead to Backlash. So that leads us now to the pre-show Backlash, which is going to be Heat from April 25th, 1999. And this is in Providence, Rhode Island. And we're going to get Shane McMahon cut a promo, kind of like a buy this pay-per-view promo, you know, right before the pay-per-view goes live. So let's take a listen to Shane McMahon hype up this Backlash main event just before the show starts. Take a listen.
He's always all business ever since he took over.
Tonight is the dawning of a new era. It's the Shane McMahon 2000 inaugural brawl. You know, you really shouldn't be referring to events in that manner. Now, in of tonight's pay-per-view spectacular Backlash, I have created yet a special stipulation for tonight's WWF Championship match. The match between the Brahma Bull, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment today, The Rock, against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Tonight, the World Wrestling Federation Championship will be determined under no holds barred rules.
Whoa!
Anything goes. Now, many of you are out there wondering, wow, Shane, you are probably going to be a biased special guest referee. You'll be biased to The Rock. I have to admit, The Rock and I have quite a bit in common. However, I promise all of you that I will call this match down the middle, 1, 2, 3. May the best man win. Now, Stone Cold Steve Austin, got a little extra something for you. In case you're a little foggy from that shovel shot I gave you last Monday night, if you come near me, if you even put your hands on me, listen up, Austin, if you touch me with those filthy, beer-smelling hands of yours, Austin, I will disqualify you on the spot and award the WWF Championship to The Rock.
Oh, yeah. The title could change hands on a disqualification. Shane McMahon does hold all the cards.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it in the air? The power of Shane McMahon is in full effect. I reached out and I seized that power, and it feels good. And Vince, I know you're watching at home, probably side by side with your precious little daughter, Daddy's little girl, Stephanie. While I'm out here running the family business. I'm out here creating a new dynasty for the World Wrestling Federation, embarking on a new era, creating a new standard of excellence, a new standard for ruthlessness, and I am damn proud of it. Now, Stone Cold Steve Austin, let me tell you one thing. I have been with The Rock day in and day out, and he is quite upset with you that you crushed his $37,000 Lincoln Town car. Stone Cold, tonight in this very ring, it's going to be the Brahma Bull taking on the Rattlesnake, and I will not be dressed like this, oh no. I'll be wearing the black and the white, the pinstripes. And I will be counting 1, 2, 3. Anything goes. And let me tell you, what we've seen in the past between The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's going to be electric here this evening.
Waiving the disqualification rule. If Austin even gets near Shane, Shane will throw it out and award the title to The Rock, folks. You heard it here.
Thing. Remember, anything goes in this pay-per-view spectacular match. The WWF Championship will once again become corporate property.
So Shane McMahon, no holds barred title match tonight. Disqualification, the title can change hands. Lemo arriving here at the Providence Civic Center. It's Vince! Vince McMahon is here! Vince is here! Austin Rock title, what's gonna happen at Backlash?
All right, so Shane McMahon's out there. He's the one getting the ass-filled chance now. And it's nice. He says, you know, you really shouldn't be referring to Vince like that in that manner. So he just kind of like brushes it off. Oh, you're talking about my dad, not me. So Shane McMahon, like I said, he's given that final sell, and he's going to add one stipulation to the match that you just heard, and it's now going to be a no-holds-barred match, which is a nice little touch because then that allows for them to do a whole lot of things in the match, you know, different types of finishes. So I'm glad they said it
and
ahead of time and not just like during the match. Like, oh, it's now a no holds barred match, or not even refer to it as a no holds barred match, and the referee just lets everything fly.
Yeah, and in typical WWE fashion, they're trying to again stack the cards even more against Stone Cold. So,
Right.
I mean, it's basically a 2-on-1 match.
Yeah, exactly, because Shane's the ref.
Shane's a former fucking champion.
Yeah, European champion.
He's like more. He's a good hybrid right now. He's like 50% performer and now 50% like becoming the main villain on the show.
Yeah, he's stepping up
because you're sympathizing for Vince McMahon and his family at this point because of what's happening. So it's like you hate Steph and all that. You know what I mean? Because you got the ministry chasing her and like ruining all his plans.
Oh, you mean you hate Shane? What are you saying?
Who? Vince?
Oh, you said you hate Steph.
No. I said you hate. I did. Yeah. That's not what I meant. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, Shane, right? Yeah, you hate Shane, and Vince is a little sympathetic. We talked about it last week, where it's like, what the hell are they doing?
Sympathize for
Making
Vince.
A baby face?
Steph's kind of new to television. It's Vince's daughter.
Yep.
Yeah, you kind of relate to Vince, and then you also kind of see that Shane's kind of taking matters into his own hand and becoming confrontational.
Right.
You can kind of sense the tension between his father and himself. So.
And we hate him anyway, not only for the way he's acting with his father, but he's fucking with our man, Stone Cold.
Yeah. Who's worse than the boss? The boss's kid.
Always. All right, so Shane talks about how he sees power. He points out that Vince is probably home with Stephanie, and he is here running the family business. That's good to point out because it's setting up the idea that Vince isn't here, but he probably will be. He'll have some kind of impact on the match. So they make sure to mention that. And then Shane mentions how The Rock is pissed that his Lincoln got crushed. And Shane says he will be counting the 1, 2, 3 in his pinstripes tonight. So at that point, though, right at the very end of Heat, as Backlash is about to go on air, Vince's limo pulls into the parking lot. And the crowd is all excited, like he's the babyface now. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, I guess people are just buying into it. And that's how easily they can switch the crowd. Like, it just has to be like 1 or 2 segments, and it's like, oh, we like that guy now, even though he's been an asshole for a year.
Especially like a smart crowd, like Providence,
the
Northeast, where, not to toot our own horn, but, the Northeast is kind of still, will always forever be like WWE's home base.
Right.
Like,
no doubt about it. So, it's not even that, it's a smart crowd. It's just, it's a crowd that's also willing to just go along with stuff, too.
Right.
Like, if it's, if it's good, if it's entertaining, you're like, all right, fuck it. You're a good guy now. Like, no big deal. All right, so here we go. We got the Backlash, April 25th, 1999, live in Providence, Rhode Island. This is the 28th and the final In Your House pay-per-view. And they haven't really been called In Your House for a while, throughout 99 and the later part of 98. They usually had a name for it, but it would still always say In Your House in the graphic. But they haven't really referred to them as In Your Houses anymore, but technically they were still. I think maybe that had to do with like television contracts with the satellite companies, the cable companies, that they were going to have a show called In Your House that they had booked. But they had the freedom to do the side name, like Backlash instead.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're technically out of that, and they don't have to use In Your House anymore after this point. And so this is going to be the first Backlash, and Backlash will become one of their major pay-per-views going forward. So from 99 being the first one as an In Your House, the following year it comes back in 2000, and it's going to go until 2009, and it's always going to be the pay-per-view right after WrestleMania, whether it's in April, usually in April, but sometimes WrestleMania is in April. But WrestleMania is sometimes in April in the first week, and they would still have Backlash later in April at the end.
There are those instances where we have 2 pay-per-views in a month.
Right. And so Backlash becomes that Backlash to Mania. It's kind of like usually rematch matches happen all the time.
Yeah, it's a rehash of everything we just watched.
Right. All right, so there it is. Just a little recap of what Backlash is. It was there until 2009, then it returned in 2016, and I believe they've had it ever since, past few years. So Backlash, one of the major pay-per-views of the In Your House brand. And it was the very last one. All right, so you get The Rock arriving. He's dragging the Smoking Skull belt on the ground. He doesn't really give a shit about it, obviously. It's a piece of monkey trash, monkey shit. So Shane gets interviewed by Michael Cole. Shane says if Austin can pin The Rock's shoulders down, he'll count 1, 2, 3. So he's saying, I'm not going to, I'll count 1, 2, 3 if he can get The Rock's shoulders down. I'm not going to not cheat him. I'm not trying to cheat him. I'm going to pin him if he can pin him. So Shane continues to say that Vince is not his father, that he's just Vince to him. And Vince gets interviewed by Kevin Kelly earlier in the night. And he says Shane made a big mistake last week, which was not actually last week, it was 2 weeks ago, when Shane slapped Vince across the face. So you're getting that as some of the background action going on leading up to this match, which is the main event here is the no-holds-barred match with Shane McMahon as the special guest referee. This match is going to start at 2 hours and 15 minutes and goes to the close of the show. And again, the stipulation has been added, no holds barred, but in addition to that, if Austin touches Shane, Austin gets stripped of the WWF Championship. Now that is kind of strange because it's no DQ, no holds barred, right? But there is DQ. Because if Austin touches Shane, then he can be DQ'd. So it is DQ. Well,
Yeah, they contradict themselves.
Always. There's always something like that.
As usual. It's commonly seen in previous episodes.
Yeah. All right, so you get a great video recap prior to the match and kind of gets you all hyped up for the match. And I think this is a better build-up than the WrestleMania build-up. I've said that before. That this is just seems more important in what they've gone through to get to this point, to get to this match, than the prior match. Because the prior match was more about Vince McMahon and Austin, but The Rock was kind of just working for
Vince.
For Vince.
Was hired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just Hitman.
Right. So this one's more personal than the last match. All right, so Vince is there. He wants the police to watch Stephanie in the limo. He'll be back as soon as this match is over, and they're going to head to Hartford, Connecticut for Monday Night Raw and go home. So Vince gets to sleep home after this. So Shane McMahon makes his entrance. He comes out to No Chance in Hell, looking like a badass. And The Rock heads out with the Smoking Skull belt on his shoulder. Shane McMahon orders an assistant to make sure that the belt is in his office. So the belt gets sent to the back. So it ends up backstage. Austin walks out dragging the Big Eagle title, which, again, this match has been built all around Austin wanting back the Smoking Skull belt. We know he's the champion. Why does he have to carry the damn belt that he doesn't want? So it's almost like Austin understands that, but he's being told, you gotta bring it. You gotta bring it out. So Austin's just fucking dragging it like, yeah. I'm gonna just make it look like I don't care about this belt, but here it is. So you get the match going. The action starts quick, as it always does with The Rock and Austin. Austin has his vest this time, so it's not like WrestleMania where he didn't have his vest. He made sure he packed it this time. So Austin hits a Luthez press, a signature elbow drop. The Rock gains the advantage and tosses Austin out of the ring. They fight into the aisleway as Austin likes to do. They go to a giant open area around the entranceway. And as usual, they do that. They make sure that they use this open area so that they can go at it a little bit. So Austin gets whipped into an entrance set, which is the chain link fence that they're using here. And moments later, Austin reverses a suplex with one of his own. And Austin's going to toss The Rock into the other chain link fence. And they're going back and forth across the set. Austin drops a crate on The Rock and then clotheslines him back into the fence. Okay, Austin's going to get a cable out from the back area. And he's going to choke with The Rock with it. And that's followed by another whip into another piece of the set. And you just get them bumping around. Like basically just going all throughout the set and beating the shit out of each other at that point.
This is outside of the ring 85% of the match.
And so up to this point, it's been about 6-7 minutes, and they've just been outside the entire time. They're going to finally make their way back to the aisleway. and Austin's going to whip The Rock into the steel step. So at 2 hours, 27 minutes, they're back in the ring finally. So Austin begins to stomp Austin in the corner of the ring. Shane McMahon pushes Austin off of him, which you shouldn't be touching Austin, right? He's provoking Austin. You said he can't touch you, but you're going to push him?
Yeah, he had that provoke clause with his father.
Right, he did.
They don't put that in this match. How about some consistency, WWE?
Right. But even still, like, you can't expect to push somebody and then not push you back and then say, hey, you pushed me. You weren't supposed to push me.
Yeah,
bullshit.
What a bitch.
Right.
Move. That's like as bitch as it gets.
So The Rock's going to run at Austin at that point. Austin tosses him out of the ring and steps up for a clothesline from the ring apron, and he nails it from the ring apron. Austin tries to set up The Rock on the Spanish booth, but The Rock reverses that and hits the rock bottom through the table. So Austin gets sent right through the table there on the poor Spanish announce table, of course, as always. Shane McMahon tosses The Rock a steel chair, so he's fucking helping The Rock out, as we knew he would. Austin kicks The Rock in the gut to avoid the chair shot. Austin gets reversed whipped into the crowd. They battle into a cleared area in the crowd, which always seems funny because they always go to the perfect spot in the audience where there's no people. There's always that big gap where there's no people. And they battle in the cleared area in the crowd. And The Rock tosses Austin back over the guardrail. Then he uses the announce table to beat on Austin some more. The Rock at this point, and this is a funny moment, The Rock takes the cameraman's camera, and you get a different point of view too. Like the quality looks different now. It's like a particular camera that's not the real cameras that they use. It looked more like like a camcorder, a handheld camcorder. So he has a camera.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it looked slightly different.
From that point of view, I do see it now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So he pegs off Austin, like POV style.
It's a fucking awesome part of the match. The highlight of the match.
Mine too. My highlight too. So he gets it. He turns back to Austin. So he's gonna peg off Austin, and then he takes the camera. He pans to the audience real quick, and then when he turns back to Austin is right there, giving him the double birds, and then hits a stunner through the announce table. So you just see it all, point of view style. And that's at 2 hours, 32 minutes, 38 seconds. And Austin's going to get The Rock back in the ring. But yeah, that's a great moment in the match, just a little camera. Because The Rock's been doing shit like that. The Rock would he'll get the headset, and he'll talk on commentary during the match. And this time he took it to the next step. He's like, I'm going to take the camera, and I'm going to shoot me kicking Austin's ass. And then Austin strikes while he has that big fucking camera. All right, so like I said, Austin gets The Rock back in the ring after that. The Rock is all shaky-legged and kind of stunned, I guess. So Austin is creeping around him. The Rock turns around. Austin hits the gut shot, goes for the stunner, but The Rock pushes him off and pushes him into Shane McMahon. And it looked to be inadvertent. He got pushed, so he shouldn't be DQ'd. So you would think that this is going to lead to Shane saying, "Oh, you touched me," and you lose.
Yeah, that's the kind of the predictability at this point.
So The Rock hits Austin with the rock bottom. Shane puts The Rock's arm on Austin and begins the count, but Austin kicks out. So things are getting really good at this point. Right from that The Rock bottom through the Spanish table, that's when things really started to heat up even more. The beginning of the match was typical, as brawling outside and all that shit. Well, but then they got in the ring, they slowed things down, and then they built the heat back up again by those the big shots, and then into the crowd, and then now at the point we're at this point where Austin's gonna kick out of the rock bottom, which is important too because they kept mentioning how The Rock had kicked out of the stunner at WrestleMania. That's been a major point over the past few weeks since WrestleMania. So Austin's going to kick out of his move. Shane's going to grab the Big Eagle belt from the timekeeper. He's setting up to hit Austin. He's going to miss Austin, and he's going to hit The Rock. That's at 2 hours and 34 minutes. Austin's going to go for a cover. Shane counts to 2. He stops, then pegs Austin off and rolls out of the ring, which is a callback to the first time he did that. Remember? Back at Survivor Series?
Survivor Series 98.
Yep.
Right?
When he turned heel. So he continues to peg him off. And JR says, his word is not worth a damn. So Vince McMahon comes out at this point. So Shane is just kind of out of there at this point now. Vince comes down. He's walking down the aisle with fucking Earl Hebner. And just annoyed me. But, hey, maybe he's going to do a good job this time. So Vince fucking gives like a shoulder block to Shane as he walks by him, too. Nice little touch. Like, fuck off. And Vince is holding the Smoking Skull belt. Shane had told him to send it to the back and keep it safe. Now Vince has the belt. So Shane confronts him. Vince whacks Shane with the belt. And Austin's looking on. The Rock sneaks up, hits Austin with the Big Eagle belt. So Earl Hebner's going to jump in to make the count. And Austin's going to kick out on 2. That kind of did annoy me with Earl Hebner. It's like, oh, I thought you were coming out there to kind of be like the fair judge, and The Rock's going to nail Austin with the belt, and then you're going to rush to make a cover.
Yeah, like not even like assess the situation. Like, how did we get here? Why is this guy?
He just runs and makes it count. So The Rock.
I mean, it is no holds barred.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. That's good.
It's actually a good point. Our argument is
we're flawed.
There's no fucking standing.
But still, he's coming out there. Whatever. Fine, I'm wrong. I'm just trying to. Because
I was with you at first, then it hit me. I was like, wait. Yeah. This is no holds barred. What the fuck are we even talking about?
I'm just trying to find a reason to be mad at Earl Hebner.
Yeah. Well, Earl Hebner should be rooting for the good guy.
Right.
He knows Rock's a dickhead.
Yeah.
The fuck? What the fuck? Austin brought the guy into the ring, had beers with him. It's like bringing him into his home.
Yeah, no shit. And he's all bouncing around like a little fucking goof after WrestleMania.
And listeners, sorry about the creaky sounds lately in the background, because I know that was a big one. That's my chair. And I have a new chair coming. So this is the last recording. Well, you hear this shit. You're not going to hear that anymore. It's going to be gone.
No more squeakies.
Yeah.
All right, so let's we're getting here towards the end of this match now. The Rock tries to hit Austin with the belt again. Austin blocks it with a kick to the gut. Get the stunner. The Rock doesn't drop. He stumbles around. Austin grabs the belt and knocks the Rock out with it. So Austin covers him, and Earl counts 3. And Austin retains and gets his belt back at 2 hours, 36 minutes. Now, I don't know how I feel about it. It kind of makes sense storyline-wise, but if Austin's hitting somebody with the stunner to win the match, I feel like The Rock needs to drop after the stunner. And Austin just gets the count. And I can see what they're trying to do, though, is that this has all been about the belt. So why not lay him out with the belt?
Yeah.
Like, you stunned him, and he is stunned, but it took the belt to finally put him out. I don't know. What do you feel about that?
I think they should. I don't think Stone Cold should have used the stunner then.
Right. Yeah, shouldn't have used a stunner.
I get the symbolism in him using the belt.
Yep.
But I don't agree with the timing.
Yeah, because he should drop on that finisher. That's his finisher. He should drop.
That's his finisher, and it was a big deal when he was the first person to kick out of the stunner.
Right.
So now he's just like the Foxy, the Kryptonite. He just fucking kicks on it all the time now.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he didn't kick out here, but he didn't
drop.
Go down.
Yeah, he didn't go down from it.
Yeah, he didn't take the finish from his finisher.
Yeah, you're right. It would have been better off if there was a spot where he nailed him with the belt.
Yeah. It wasn't enough to ruin my interest in the match or how much I enjoyed it, but
looking back at
that's
it,
what we're doing
right,
here.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're critiquing shit and putting everything under a microscope and fucking acting like we're better than everything and we know all the answers.
No, it's just
that's what we got.
Just another view.
Yeah.
All right, so Austin retains, and then you get. Well, that was with the Big Eagle belt. He whacks him with the Big Eagle belt, just to clear that. It wasn't with the Smoking Skull belt. So probably would have.
Oh, it wasn't?
Probably would have been better if it was with the Smoking Skull belt.
Yeah. Oh, that's even worse then.
Because Vince comes to the.
That's right. No, you're right. Yeah. No, you're right. Vince comes to the ring with it. Vince has
the Smoking Skull belt.
Yeah.
After Austin retains, Vince drops the Smoke and Skull belt in the ring, leaves it for Austin, and you have, and that's about it, right? That kind of closes things out here. Austin holds up both titles, and he's the champ, so the cameras are focused on him. He gets his beers, he drinks his beers. Now it's time for skull rating. JV, what do you got for skull rating?
I gave this 3.5 skulls.
So did I. 3.5 skulls.
And I see your note here. Man, elaborate on that.
All right, so Meltzer, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Meltzer's recap of the match, he gave it 4 1/4 stars. So he was like super high on this match. And he ranked it high, I think, no, maybe not as high as WrestleMania match, but I didn't think this was even that close to the WrestleMania match.
No way. It was it's no holds barred, but it was, I don't know. It was outside the ring a lot. Like, yeah, they were using like the ramp and the steel. There was the chain link fence and shit, but everything felt like stuff we've already seen. I mean, take away the only reason why I'm giving that 3.5 stars is it gets like 1 full star for the brilliant moment with The Rock with the camera talking shit in Austin's face, pegging the middle finger. That's a full star right there because it was different.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen that before.
Right. But yeah, everything else is we've seen that in most of his matches. It was pretty much the same thing that we've seen in Austin versus Dude Love matches, and the same thing with The Rock versus Mankind matches. It was just like basically the same kind of style match.
Yeah. Yep.
With nothing really exactly. And at least at WrestleMania, they did it a little differently. They had more in-ring action, more drama being built up in the match. Like I said, the storyline build-up to this is better, in my opinion, than WrestleMania's build-up. But the WrestleMania match is definitely better than this match. And a lot of people seem to like this match better. I don't know if they're just jumping on board with the Meltzer rating, but I don't buy into it.
I don't see it. I'm not buying that at all.
No. So yeah, we go.
I thought I was being generous with 3.5 skulls. Go figure.
I mean, the end part is what kind of gets you hyped up a little bit and makes me like the match more than I probably should, because it's a great, nice little finish. Not even a great finish, but a nice, strong finish. And that is kind of how sometimes I judge the match, is like based on my emotions right at the end. So I'm pretty sure I grade him similarly. And that's why I went 3.5. But if I were to go back and look at the whole beginning again, like I just did, I guess, I could maybe even drop a half and go to 3. Because that first 7 minutes of just bouncing around going into the chain link fence, that wasn't that good at all. Wasn't many good spots there. Well, yeah, I'll stick with the 3.5, and I think that's a good score for this match. I agree. It's still a very good match to go back and watch. Rock versus Austin, for Christ's sake. So definitely worth checking out. But now, right at the very end of the show, they didn't want you to forget about Stephanie, because McMahon had said previously, Stephanie's going to wait into the back until this match is over, then I'll be right back. So make sure she's all right. So we get Stephanie's in her limo, and she's going to go off home to Hartford, Connecticut. Well, she's heading up to Hartford for the next night on Raw. Go back home, I'm sure. So she's in the limo. The doors lock. The car drives off. The limo driver window lowers. And it's The Undertaker. He goes, "Where to, Stephanie?"
I hate that. I hated that. I hated it then. I hated it now.
Wow, I thought you would like it because you like the campiness past month or so.
But I do. But that was just terrible.
I know.
Acting job. Everything about it was just like, it was like not even sci-fi fucking film.
It's straight up Freddy Krueger. "Where to, Stephanie?"
Yeah, but way worse.
Definitely. Because it's The Undertaker. He looks like a fucking goof in his limo gear.
Yeah, he does.
All right, so that brings us now to the next night in Hartford, Connecticut. This is April 26th. This is Raw 309. Vince McMahon arrives in his limo with Pat and Jerry, who he hasn't fired. Shane McMahon fired them, but they're still his stooges. Shane has his own stooges, the Mean Street Posse. But The Rock's going to come out there, and it's going to be like a completely different Rock just all of a sudden. The last we see him,
Yeah, it is.
he didn't win the title, and nothing really happened other than, he ended up losing. And it wasn't really thanks to Shane or even Vince or anything like that. But The Rock comes out, and he's a new man. and they're even getting it over on commentary right away. Jim Cornette's on commentary for Lawler. And Jim Cornette says, The Rock has all the tools to be the man in this industry. He's never really needed the corporation's shortcuts. He can do it on his own. So they're basically setting up the audience for he doesn't need the corporation and he's going to leave the corporation. He says, last night The Rock did all he could. The Rock's going to say that. The Rock gets in the ring, says, I tried to do all I could, and I whooped his ass around the arena. And he's going to continue to talk about Austin. So let's take a listen to what he has to say for a few minutes, and we're going to see the beginning of this babyface turn for The Rock.
It's been a long time, but finally the electrifying one has come back to Hartford. Now last night, Backlash, The Rock, Stone Cold, The Rock did exactly what he said he was gonna do, and that's whoop his candy ass all over the damn arena.
It was physical, no doubt about that.
Stone Cold, The Rock is gonna have to give credit where credit is due. So for the first time, Stone Cold, listen up. The Rock says, then again, Stone Cold, The Rock says you are and will forever be the biggest piece of Texas trailer park trash walking God's green earth.
Well, I should have known he couldn't quite do it.
Stone Cold, did you give The Rock your best? You're damn right. Did The Rock kick your ass like none other? You damn right. But when it was all said and done, all The Rock smoke is cleared.
Fans chanting for the rattlesnake.
When it was all said and done, all the smoke is cleared, all The Rock's sweat had fallen. The millions and millions of The Rock's fans were through chanting his name. Rocky, Rocky. The Rock still walked out of Backlash, the damn people's champ. The Rock has but one problem. And that problem is a 200-pound piece of steaming, stinking monkey crap, and his name is Shane McMahon.
Wait a minute!
Now we're getting down to business here.
Did just pick up?
Before The Rock went one-on-one with Austin, The Rock told you, Shane, do not, under any circumstances, get involved in the Great Ones match. Do not do anything because The Rock was gonna whoop Stone Cold's ass all by his lonesome. But true to McMahon word, you...
Well, now business is about to pick up because here comes the Boy Wonder and the corporation with him.
All right, so The Rock continues on and says, The Rock says You are still and forever will be the biggest piece of trailer park trash walking God's green earth. Stone Cold Steve Austin, you gave The Rock your best. You're damn right. So The Rock's giving Austin some major props there. But The Rock, and he says, but The Rock still walked out Backlash, the people's champ. So while he didn't win, he's still the people's champion. The crowd was behind him, and they've been going on his side lately for the past month when they're doing this.
Yeah, now he can finally embrace
when they're
it.
doing the sing-alongs with The Rock and all that. They've been just waiting to do those, and now it looks like The Rock's going to let them do it. He's going to be their champion, the people's champ. So that was very short-lived heel Rock. Because he was a strong babyface after leaving the Nation. And then they got him back in the corporation because Austin needed a heel. And now Austin doesn't need him to be the heel anymore. So they're going to go in a different direction. And it's looking like they're going to go back to Undertaker as being Austin's major rival, starting with tonight too. So now The Rock can go be a babyface, and we have another upcoming heel on the rise too, and that's Triple H. So it looks like it'll be The Rock and Triple H continuing their feud that they had going on about a year ago. But now both of them are at a stronger place. They're on a higher level, so they can be not mid-card feud. They can be a top-of-the-card feud. So we're getting some changes here happening right after Backlash. All right, so The Rock continues on. The Rock still has a problem. It's a 200-pound piece of streaming, stinking monkey crap, and his name is Shane McMahon. So now he's calling out Shane. So he's truly going babyface here. At this point, no chance in hell begins, and Shane makes his way to the ring with the corporation, which is Triple H, China, Boss Man, Test, and Mean Street Posse. And Shane McMahon makes his way out, and The Rock challenges him to a match later in the night. And so we'll get to that in the Attitude Update. There's going to be a match between The Rock and Shane McMahon. And later, we're going to get The Undertaker. As I was just mentioning, it looks like The Undertaker is going to begin a feud with Stone Cold. So at 26 minutes in, The Undertaker wants some documents delivered at 10 p.m. sharp in the parking lot. And he tells Vince McMahon that he wants Steve Austin to bring them alone. And Vince is like, I can't ask Austin to do this. Austin hates me. I've been giving him shit for over a year and a half, and you want me to go ask him for a favor to go see you? And wouldn't Austin just think, what do you think, I'm dumb? You're trying to set me up to get my ass kicked by the Undertaker in the Ministry?
Yeah, seriously.
Right, so McMahon knows that Austin won't do it, but McMahon's still going to try anyway. So let's take a listen to an Austin and McMahon promo where McMahon's going to ask Austin for some help. This comes at 27 minutes. So take a listen, and we'll talk about it after that.
Back last night, that smoking skull belt. And surprisingly, from Vince McMahon.
Stone Cold, last night at Backlash, you overcame all odds. You remained at the top of the mountain. You defeated The Rock. You're still WWF champion.
Well, you're damn right I overcame it. Get your ass out of the ring.
Hope they don't pay Michael by the hour.
You damn right I overcame all odds, and I did exactly what I said I was going to do. As far as The Rock coming out here saying he beat my ass all over the ring, Jesus Christ, son, all you got to do is watch that match and see that Stone Cold Steve Austin on his own beat your sorry ass, and that's all I got to say about that.
What a match it was. Wait a minute. Now
he couldn't.
Vince McMahon.
He's not going to actually.
Vince McMahon is making his way to the ring, and certainly the hatred between these two well documented.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I guess maybe I do. This is not easy for me, but what I'm trying to say, make a long story short, I need your help. You said what? You need my help? Is that what you said?
I need your help. The Undertaker has my daughter, Stephanie, and I need your help.
You got to clear this up exactly for me. What are you trying to say? Just go ahead and say something, because you ain't making no sense.
Well, this isn't... It's not anything personal. I know that you don't like me. I know you never will. And the feeling is somewhat mutual. But it's not about you and me. This is personal, and it involves my daughter, Stephanie. And Steve, you can help me.
With all due respect to you and your little daughter, hell, son, I got a million problems on my own. So as far as I'm concerned, I really don't give a rat's ass about your problems.
But Steve, the Undertaker's made some demands. He's asked for some documentation, and that's all right with me. I don't care about the documentation. But he's made other demands. He's demanded that instead of me delivering the documentation to him, he's demanded that you deliver that documentation. And if you do that, I really believe that everything will be fine with my daughter, Stephanie. And I think you can understand my point of view as a father.
What you're saying is Vince McMahon needs Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's what you're saying. So if that's true, if that is true that Vince McMahon needs Stone Cold Steve Austin, then that's what I want you to say to me. Say to me, Vince McMahon needs Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Vince McMahon needs Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Never thought I'd hear that.
That all sounds real good, Vince, but hell, you must think that I have a real horrible memory, because the last 15 months, every single night I come to work, you see fit to put my life, make my life a living hell, and I will give you credit. You have done one hell of a job. Stone Cold Steve Austin never forgets one single thing that happens right here in the World Wrestling Federation. So, since Vince McMahon needs Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'll say this. By the same token, Stone Cold Steve Austin needs Vince McMahon to kiss his ass. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
I think the answer is no. Stone Cold is not going to deliver the documents to The Undertaker in return for Vince McMahon's daughter, Stephanie.
Well, JR, what you sow, so shall you reap. But what will Vince McMahon do now?
The Rattlesnake's feelings toward Vince McMahon run very deep, quite obviously. And Vince is in one hell of a...
Okay, so you have Austin, and we got a new shirt alert. New shirt alert, Stone Cold's Gym. Now this one is forgettable. I didn't remember this at all. It's Stone Cold's Gym. It's a skull with a barbell in its mouth. I think the design looks cool, but I just don't remember this shirt at all.
Neither did I.
Stone Cold's Gym. What the fuck? Why would you even think of that?
Everyone had a gym t-shirt.
Yeah, that's true. So Austin is also back in possession of his personal property, the Smoking Skull belt. So Austin says, damn right, he's still the WWF champion. And Michael Cole's in the ring trying to interview him. He's annoyed with Michael Cole, obviously, and rips the mic from him, tells him to get his ass out of the ring. And Austin continues on. He says, The Rock's out here and says he kicked my ass all over the arena. Jesus Christ, all you have to do is watch the match and see that Stone Cold beat your ass. And that's all I got to say about that. At that point, McMahon's going to head out. And he comes out with no music, so no Chance in Hell music, not at all. So it's almost like he acknowledges that it's a heel song. It's like, no, I can't come out to that right now. I'm trying to be babyface. I'm trying to be serious. I need help. So McMahon comes out there all humble. I don't mean to interrupt, but I guess I do. This is not easy for me. I need your help. Austin responded, what? You said you need my what? Is that what you said? You need my help? And he says, yes, I need your help. Vince says, yes, I need your help. The Undertaker has my daughter, Stephanie, and I need your help. Austin responds, what are you trying to say? Go ahead and say something because you ain't making no sense. I know you don't like me. You probably never will. And the feeling is somewhat mutual. Steve, it's personal. And you can help me. So it's funny now. We're in this situation where McMahon is asking Austin for help. And we're already, in the past couple of weeks, like you were saying, JV, that we're already kind of starting to feel a little bit bad because Stephanie's tied into this situation. And there's not much to like about the ministry, so it's kind of like, fuck the ministry. Fuck what the Undertaker's doing. Fuck Shane McMahon. So it's like by default, you're just siding with Vince McMahon now.
Yep.
So Austin responds to him. And with all due respect...
He's definitely the benefactor from a fan reaction in all this. He's like the lesser of all the evils going, spinning and brewing in WWE at this time.
So Austin tells him, with all due respect to you and your little daughter, hell, son, I got a million problems of my own. As far as I'm concerned, I really don't give a rat's ass about your problems. There's something about when Austin says rat's ass, just love it. Just the way it comes off.
Agreed.
So McMahon says, the Undertaker has some demands. He wants documentation. What the fuck documents does he want? Like, I wish there was some explanation in these documents. You're the one sending dick pics, Undertaker.
What are they, like medical records?
Yeah, what the hell's the documents?
Is it a birth certificate? I don't know. Can't you just get a new one? Like a birth abstract or something?
It's almost like when they're writing this in the back, they're like, well, what can Undertaker need? Just say documents. Nobody will fucking know what that means.
Fucking documents are a big deal in the 90s. The office.
Get the documents.
People have official documents. I don't know.
I don't
know what the fuck their thought process was.
Hey, you got the portfolio with the documents?
Yeah, a portfolio. Even better word.
So he says he's made other demands. He wants you to deliver the documentation. If you do that, I think everything will be fine with my daughter. And then, like I was saying before, this is like a setup. So Stone Cold is obviously going to think this is a setup. DTA, he don't trust anybody. So he's not going to buy this. So Austin says, what are you saying? What you're saying is, Vince McMahon needs Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's what you're saying. Vince needs Stone Cold Steve Austin. He tells Vince to say it. So McMahon's going to say it. Stone Cold Steve Austin needs McMahon to kick his ass. Wait, no. I fucked that up.
Yeah, you did.
So he says, Austin says, hell, that sounds good, but you think you have a real horrible memory because, for the last 15 months, every night I come to work, you seem to make my life a living hell. Stone Cold Steve Austin will never forget that. And that happens, and I will never forget a damn thing that happens in the WWF. So he says, I'll say this, Stone Cold Steve Austin needs Vince McMahon to kiss his ass, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. So while he gets Vince McMahon to admit that he needs him, Austin's like, screw you, man. 15 months of bullshit. I'm not just going to help you out now. So the answer is no. And that's it. and I like that. I like how it's just like, that's the bottom line. That's the end of it. Like, the answer is no. Fuck you. Not even Austin buying into it. Just simply no, because that's what his character would do. That's what we know he would do. He would say no. Now, if he decides to help later, then that's on his own. But he's not gonna say to Vince, "Yeah, I'll help you out, I guess." Fuck out of here. He wants Vince to sweat. So Vince is pretty dramatic about having to go deliver the documents on his own. He's afraid. So Austin now, they continue to follow Austin around for the rest of the night. So 40 minutes, he goes by the Big Show. I thought this was great because, fucking Austin's, he's badass, so he would do this. But you got the Big Show, giant fucking dude, who we have known at this point to be a goof. But Austin goes up to him and says, "What the hell are you looking at?" So Big Show goes, "Oh, hey man, it's the guy's daughter." And Austin just says, "I don't give a rat's ass who it is." And Austin later is looking on backstage as Vince wants to deliver the documents to the Undertaker. So Austin's just keeping an eye on the situation, what's going on throughout the night. Maybe he does feel bad that Stephanie's being captive, but he doesn't want to just buy into what Vince McMahon wants him to do right away. So he's just kind of feeling out everything going on. So there is a segment now where the Ministry is going to have kidnapped Stephanie McMahon again. She's held captive. They're going to bring her out. And this is going to close the show. And it's the Ministry. Now we're starting to see some of the storylines merge together. So while the Ministry and Vince McMahon were having their own storyline going on for a while, Austin is now going to be brought into this story. And it's going to become our main focus on the next few episodes. So here we are. We got the Undertaker back on the scene here. So the Ministry brings out Stephanie strapped to the Undertaker symbol. They set her up, leaning on the ropes in the ring. The Undertaker comes to the ring and says he's not to blame for what's about to happen here. Undertaker says McMahon didn't live up to his end of the agreement, and Steve Austin showed his true colors as well. Paul Bearer heads into the ring. He has a book he's going to read from, and he begins a marriage ceremony for the marriage of Undertaker and Stephanie McMahon. So Paul Bearer's like, "Will you accept the purity of evil and accept the Lord of Darkness?" And she's yelling no. She's screaming. Ken Shamrock runs in after the Undertaker, who he's having a feud with. They just had a match at Backlash the night before. And he gets stomped out by the Acolytes. He gets squashed by Viscera. The ceremony continues after Shamrock's put down. Undertaker says, "I do." Then the Big Show runs out. He clears house. The Undertaker hits Big Show with Shamrock's baseball bat. Shamrock came out with a baseball bat. So Undertaker got a hold of that bat and hit Big Show with it. Paul Bearer says the Undertaker may now kiss his bride. And once he says that, Austin comes on out.
To the rescue.
Yeah, Austin comes to the rescue like he's fucking Superman.
Yeah, saving Lois Lane.
Yeah, exactly. Woman in distress, he comes running out. He's like, "Screw this shit, I'm going to help her out." So Austin runs into the ring, goes at it with the Undertaker. Midian runs in, he gets stunned. Austin whacks the Acolytes with the steel chair. Viscera and Midian get nailed with the steel chair also. And Undertaker just walks off and he goes up the ramp. Okay, so Austin saves the day. He frees Stephanie from the symbol. And Stephanie just gives Austin a huge hug. And Austin just looks so awkward and he doesn't want to hug back. He just has his arms open and she's hugging him like, obviously he just saved her life. But he's still like, I don't want to be hugging you. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what his thought process is. It's kind of just like, yeah, I didn't want that bullshit going on, but I don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
He keeps his hands up when she's giving him the hug. Vince comes up.
Worried about media backlash for not helping.
Yeah.
You're a leader. You're the face of wrestling. You should be out here helping his daughter. Regardless of how he's treated you.
That sounds like a storyline for today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like some SJWs would be out. How? It's like, dude, you realize this is fucking scripted, right? It's a television show.
But kids look up to that TV character. They should be.
Oh, yeah. The guy drinks beer and all this stuff, and that's what you're going to go after. Like, this is expected. You'd be lucky you should be happy he doesn't come out in a fucking wife beater every week. Because that's the only stereotype he's missing.
That's true.
I love it.
That's great. I never thought of that.
I probably loved him more if he came out in wife beaters. Look at this fucking domestic abuse case.
There should have been some with skulls on it, too.
Yeah. Domestic violence t-shirt. Be awesome.
Austin Beater.
Yeah. I say that jokingly, of course.
So Vince runs into the ring. He immediately hugs Stephanie. And Vince has the look on his face, and he gives the thank you to Austin. And Austin's just looking back at him. No smile, no acknowledgement of like, yeah, man, I helped you out. He's still just looking at him in disdain. And that's how the show goes off the air. So a lot changed in those past couple of weeks there with Austin and The Rock. So you had like this heated feud rivalry between the Rock and Austin, and then Austin retains at Backlash. And then the very next night, it's The Rock as a babyface, and Austin's getting involved with the Undertaker. So changes happening pretty quickly here after Backlash. But now, let's get to our Attitude Era update. And we just finished off with what was going on with the corporation and the ministry angle. But there are other things that happened the previous weeks with them. Starting back at Raw 308 from April 19th, you had the match between the Brood and the Acolyte. And the Brood had broken away from the ministry last week. The ministry tried to sacrifice Christian. So we get a solid match between these two teams. Shamrock's going to run in and hit Bradshaw with a baseball bat. So that's Shamrock's new thing, apparently, is the baseball bat. And the Brood wins, but they don't even...
Give him the baseball bat is like passing him a baton to like, right, well, we're going to move you on to the hardcore.
Right, yeah, probably.
So Steve Blackman has like a fucking kendo stick, and you get a bat. Someone else comes out with a trash barrel, and you're the fucking bat guy.
Yeah. So the thing with that Brood match, they get the 3 count, but they don't even show it on the camera. They just win. He's like, all right, fucking, I guess they don't give a shit about it. So the Undertaker's pissed backstage. He says, I don't have time for these failures. The Acolytes get attacked by Viscera and the Undertaker for losing their match. So that's apparently, that's been a common theme. When anybody in the ministry loses, they get their ass kicked. Undertaker's on a cell phone later in the night, and he's talking to Mideon, telling him that he better not fail him. So he's going to send Mideon on a mission, which sounds like the worst person to send on a mission. If anyone's going on a mission, it should be Viscera. Men on a mission.
Well done. Well played, Dan Prue. Well fucking done.
Right. That was good. All right, so we get a no-holds-barred match, Ken Shamrock versus Big Boss Man. Shamrock runs out immediately, and they go at it ringside. You get a nice enziguri kick from Boss Man, and the reason why I note that is because fucking Big Boss Man's doing an enziguri kick. So, look pretty damn fucking cool. Big guy can move. Shamrock wins with a belly-to-belly when all's said and done. The lights go out. Undertaker appears on the Titantron, and at this point, they're building up to the match at Backlash. It says, Shamrock, it's getting late. You know where your sister is? It's like another horror movie thing. It's getting late. Do you know where your sister is? Because I do, and I would expect more of you than to leave your sister in some hotel room. And I even know what room she's in. So we're getting more of this Undertaker horror movie lines. And then you get a match between Big Show and Viscera. 2 big guys going at it, and Big Show is in control for most of the match. He motions for a choke slam. And my first thought is, you ain't fucking choke slamming Vis. No fucking way. But he doesn't because the lights go out and the Undertaker comes back out. So Undertaker stands face to face with the Big Show and they begin to battle with each other. They both try to choke slam each other, but Viscera attacks Big Show from behind. And Mankind runs out to help Big Show. They also have some things going on we'll get to in a few moments. Undertaker comes out and Undertaker walks off rather. So Undertaker is attempting to go out there and say certain things that he has to say, but it just keeps going to shit every time he does. And so later in the evening, you get Mr. McMahon and Stephanie McMahon interviewed by Michael Cole. And you kind of just get more of the shitty acting from Stephanie and Vince McMahon being like, it's okay, you don't have to say anything. But what ultimately happens, though, in this interview, it doesn't really last long. It's like a minute. And security comes out and tells Vince McMahon, he's here. So Vince fucking gets up. He starts running down the hallway. You son of a bitch. And it's Mideon. Okay, so Undertaker had sent Mideon on this mission. Mideon's out in the parking lot. They're at the TV studios in Connecticut. And Vince starts running out. And then they start fighting. Vince kicks him in the nuts. Vince tries to run him over with a car. Mideon dodges the car. and he rips Vince McMahon out of the car, and then he takes the car and drives off. Shit show. Then we move on to Heat, and nothing fucking worth talking about. Yeah, nothing there. So I'm skipping that. Backlash, you get a couple of matches with Ministry involved. You got the Acolytes and Midian versus the Brood. This was the opening match, and it sucked. It was too long, and the pay-per-view should start off hot. So that was my main thought about this. Viscera comes to the ring. He slams Christian. Bradshaw hits the clothesline from hell. He gets the win. Undertaker's backstage rallying his troops up. And he's talking about how it's time for a tragedy. Undertaker and Ken Shamrock have a decent match at Backlash. I thought it was a decent match. It's a different style from The Undertaker that was noticeably different because of all the Undertaker matches we've watched. This is the beginning of him starting to use submission holds. Actually, I think there was maybe one match before where we saw some of that with The Undertaker. But this was a totally new style for him. And didn't seem like the crowd really appreciated it yet at this point in this Undertaker versus Shamrock match. So it's almost like I always think of Undertaker lately, in the past 15 years or so, being like a wannabe UFC fighter, a wannabe MMA guy.
I didn't like this transition into Biker Taker, which is what this is
leading into that.
Over the next few years, he gets more like
fighting style. Doing punches and shit.
We get it, dude. You like UFC, right. But I don't know. Who knows, though? Maybe he did kind of need that break. If he would have stayed,
fighting the same way.
Grim Reaper, fucking Undertaker, fighting the same way, it would have gotten boring.
Yeah.
Because he does end up incorporating a lot of that moveset into what we've seen recently. So he becomes actually a better wrestler.
Yeah, so you're right. He evolves.
I just didn't enjoy the transition. Yeah, I remember thinking, I thought the same thing. What's this shit? You're fucking 7 feet tall, just picks people up and throws them the fuck around. But then we complain when that's all a big guy does. Fucking Braun Strowman can't do anything. Fucking kick butts, head butts, fucking chest.
That's what you want him to do.
Yeah.
So the crowd's chanting boring. Like I said, I thought it was a good match. Look from today's view of matches, all right, I've seen The Undertaker wrestle like this. This is the kind of style of wrestling now. So I've seen it. I was like, all right, this is a good match. And the crowd's chanting boring because they're not ready for it back in 1999. This Attitude Era audience wants to see tits. They don't want to see some submission holds in the middle of the ring. They're like, where the fuck is Val Venis? So where's PMS? Where's the hose with the Godfather? Yeah. Where's all that shit? We don't want this. This is not our Undertaker. So you get like I said, not the best, but it's a different type of match. Undertaker eventually counters a suplex and hits the tombstone. He gets the win. Bradshaw attacks Shamrock at the end of the match. This was an 18-minute match, so you could see why the crowd at times would start chanting boring in this match. But Meltzer gave this a rating, and I had to bring this up because Meltzer only gave it a 1 3/4 stars. And today, for him, this would have been like a 4-star match. So he wasn't even ready for it yet. Back in 1999. And then lastly here, I don't know if you saw this in the notes, but this was in Providence, Rhode Island. So there was a sign that was held up right at the end of the match, or right during the match at some point. It says, Ida Academica. And the Academica is a restaurant in Fall River, Massachusetts, Portuguese restaurant on South Main Street.
Yeah.
So somebody was there. Yep. Probably somebody, probably a cook, something.
Yeah, like the 4th best Portuguese restaurant in the city.
Yeah, not the best.
It was at that time, though. It was
at the time,
best.
It was.
I think that was before Carvella and all these other places started popping up, and Academica kind of lost its way. Lost its help, its cooks and shit. So that's the rumors on the streets of Fall River. I don't know if there's any truth to that. It just spreads like wildfire. You just stop believing shit. Fucking cook left that owns fucking this restaurant.
All the fucking gossip. Oh, he switched over to this place. Yeah, local bullshit.
Local town gossip in a fucking city.
All right, so at the end of that, we know that Undertaker is going to kidnap Stephanie at the end of the main event. And that will lead to the next Raw, 309, April 26th, where the entire night they're building up to the marriage. Okay, so basically, you got the gist of what was happening there. Vince McMahon needed Stone Cold's help, and he wanted documents, some kind of random fucking documents.
Do we find out what these documents
I don't
are?
know. I didn't watch ahead, and I don't remember what happened. So,
it's going to be like baby pictures or something.
Yeah.
I need her goddamn baby pictures back, damn it. Give them back.
Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't even want to speculate right now, but yeah, it could be something wacky. But all right, you got Vince McMahon though, and I thought this was funny. There's a part where Vince is on the phone with the Undertaker, and I thought Vince was doing like his best future Liam Neeson impression. His Taken Liam Neeson. Obviously, the movie wasn't out then, but it's like that same vibe. He says, "If you harm one hair on her head, so help me God, you son of a bitch." So Vince is trying to get Austin's help. Obviously, we talked about that, and Austin ultimately is going to save the day at the very end and be the good guy. So that's what happens with that. So the ministry angle is kind of transitioning now to not only being Vince involved and Stephanie involved, you now have Austin getting involved with this ministry shenanigans. Okay, on to Mankind and Big Show. Okay, going back to Raw 308, you got Mankind in a match with Triple H. Okay, the Mean Street Posse is on commentary on this, and Triple H is a member of the corporation at this point, if you don't remember. Last week, Mankind kicked their ass in the Boiler Room, the Mean Street Posse. And later, Chyna's going to slam Mankind outside the ring. It's a decent match between the two. Triple H is definitely bulking up at this point, I noticed. He's getting bigger by the week.
Yeah, he's swole. Yeah. He's retaining more water.
So it's like he knows, like, all right, I want to be the big star. I'm going to have to look a little different.
Yeah, because The Rock's looking.
Yeah, Rock looks good.
The best shape he's looked at, up to this point.
Austin always looks bigger than Triple H up to that point. Triple H is obviously going to surpass both of them.
Yeah.
So Triple H goes for a pedigree. Mankind blocks it. Headbutts Triple H into the nuts. Mankind goes for Mr. Sacco. Chyna interferes. And the match ends in a DQ. Corporation attacks Mankind. Big Show heads out, clears the ring. Big Show chokeslams Test. Corporation scatters. And they're going to be facing each other at Backlash in the Boiler Room Brawl, but it's almost the idea that Big Show doesn't want anybody else messing with Mankind until he gets his hands on him. So that'll bring us to the Boiler Room Brawl, and this was pretty wild. Boiler Room Brawl. Pretty brutal match. Mankind busted a bunch of sheets on a sheetrock. Bunch of sheetrock sheets on a Big Show, and you got a boiler room brawl with a referee, but not to officiate or anything like that. But the referee's there to just watch the door. So it's kind of like a cage match in a sense. You're stuck in the room. Whoever gets out first wins the match. Shit ton of glass used in this match. Mankind busts a fucking steam pipe open. Steam comes shooting out. I don't know what was really in there. It just looks like a bunch of crap blowing out. Like a bunch of paper. Mankind leaves the boiler room. He wins the match. Mankind gets attacked by the corporation right away. Big Show gets up and attacks Test. Follows Boss Man. Mankind gets Mr. Sacco on Test. Mankind later says that he doesn't want to fight the Big Show anymore. He says, I have kids. And he says that's it. All right, we had our brawl. I don't want to fight you anymore. I have kids. So that's Mankind and Big Show. and the next night on Raw, they're going to team up, and they're going to go up against the corporation, Test and Boss Man, who attacked Mankind after the Boiler Room match. So prior to the match, Shane whispers something to Boss Man after Test walks away. So Test and Boss Man have been having some issues going on where they're just in arguments with each other all the time. So it looks like Test is on his way out. Big Show looks pretty damn good in this match. Mankind gets Mr. Sacco on Test, and they win via submission. And Mankind has a new special Mr. Sacco. It has like a Mankind mask on, which I never seen before. They probably go back to the other one, but this one looks like it's one that they probably sold at the stands, the concessions. Boss Man and Test go nose to nose. Test punches Boss Man and then walks away. Boss Man then comes back and hits him with a nightstick from behind. So that's done. It looks like Test is on his way out of the corporation at that point. All right, so on to the corporation. Okay, just talked a little bit about what was going on in the corporation. That's Test being kicked out of it essentially, and the Boss Man issues. But the main thing going on is Triple H is now in the corporation, and he has his feud with X-Pac going on. They have a match at Backlash, and it was a pretty solid match. And I would say anybody that has a match with X-Pac, it's going to be a pretty decent match. It's going to be good to really good. And Triple H gets the win here, as he should, because he's going to be rising up the ranks on the card. But he does it with the help of X-Pac, who really helps him with this match. Makes it look like a good match. But Triple H can have good matches, but he needs good partners, too, to have really good matches. The next night on Raw 309, after Backlash, Triple H has a match with Badass Billy Gunn. Triple H makes his entrance, and he has some shitty-ass music. I don't know how long it lasts, but it sucked. And then you get Billy Gunn come out, and he comes out like a star, because he's debuting new music also. He's got the, hey, I'm an ass man, fucking badass music. So he comes out with that looking like a superstar. But China slams Gunn into the corner post. Road Dogg comes out. Triple H hits the pedigree on Gunn, and he's got the win. So Triple H kind of steamrolling at this point, going through all his former DX members, kind of just set him apart from DX. You know, he can't really be associated with them. They can't really have anything over him if now he's defeated them all and being the sole member of DX left. And we get all right. So there was a promo that we covered with The Rock earlier in the Stone Cold segment, and that promo continued, and it continued with Shane McMahon. And The Rock had been talking shit. You know, he said that Shane McMahon is a piece of monkey crap. So Shane McMahon didn't take too kindly to that. So that promo continued. Let me just kind of break down what happened there. Shane came out and he questioned The Rock. He said, monkey crap? Rock, really? What? And then I practically gave you the championship on a silver platter, but The Rock had to let the corporation down. The Rock has to entertain the millions and millions of The Rock's fans.
Which he's making damn good points here about how he's using the camera and shit instead of...
Yeah, he said, you got on the people's camera, and what happened? Stunner. You should have been standing in front of me as the WWF champion, but instead you're standing in front of me, a loser. Yeah.
And he's right.
He is right.
He's fucking right.
So, Rock, it is you that is a big piece of monkey crap. So The Rock takes his glasses off, tells Shane that this Brahma Bull is going to take his horns and shove them straight up your candy ass. And then he goes, and Shane said, I think the Brahma Bull is full of BS. He should have just said it, because then it would have sounded better. I think the Brahma Bull is full of bullshit. You need to get your attitude out of my face if you smell what the boss is cooking. He says, jabroni, you're 3 seconds away, and The Rock means 3 seconds away from The Rock laying the smack it down on your candy ass. So Triple H goes in there, he gets a cheap shot on The Rock. So now we're kind of setting up Triple H Rock feud. Rock knocks him down. Chyna takes a shot at The Rock. The Rock knocks her down, which is great. And they even say on commentary, she wants to act like a man. She wants to act like a man. She can get hit like a man.
So, look on it.
Yeah, it's a wrong. Yeah,
but it's true.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I mean, it's Chyna. It's not like she's some frail little girl.
Right.
She'll fucking beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
It's not like she'd probably kick our asses at the same time, both of us.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, fuck us.
Yeah, it's not like she's Miss Peaches from ECW, 1993.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely not.
A little frail girl. Yeah. So, The Rock's going to fight back. And
I mean, she's working out as a fucking man.
Yeah, no shit.
Throwing punches like a man. You can take a punch like a man, too.
Right. Yeah, your punch is not going to be some girl punch. So, Oh, just tell any girl punch you in the face. It's gonna fucking hurt. Even my fucking 2-year-old hit me in the face. It's still gonna sting me. Like, what the fuck?
You're a bitch.
I'm not gonna get knocked out, but fuck. It's still annoying.
Yeah, it is. Because you can't hit them back.
That too, I guess. Alright, so Shane calls everyone off as they attack The Rock, and he begins to kick The Rock. Shane begins to choke The Rock with the Boss Man nightstick. So Shane gets on the mic and says, Shane McMahon says, your ass is fired. So you're out of the corporation. So The Rock is out. He's officially out. So The Rock's going to challenge Shane to face him one-on-one. Shane's going to accept. And then you get a match. And this match happens at 1 hour, 16 minutes into the Raw after Backlash. April 26th. Mean Street Posse comes out. And The Rock bottoms them all real quick. Rock hits Shane McMahon with the Rock bottom and sets up the people elbow. Triple H comes out from the crowd, attacks The Rock. Triple H hits The Rock with a pedigree. China gets a few kick and punches on The Rock. 3 refs come out. You get the Mean Street Posse now back in there and Shane McMahon in there, and they're all holding the refs back as Triple H continues to beat on The Rock. This match basically ends as a DQ, but it just sets up the feud now between the corporation, Shane McMahon, and especially Triple H up against The Rock going forward. So now we got Triple H as a top heel, along with The Undertaker, who's still in that top heel spot. All right, then we got the IC title picture. And the Godfather is the champion at this point. We know he beat it, he got it from Goldust last time. And he has a match with Hardcore Holly. He retains there. And he's going to defend against Goldust the following week at Backlash. Blue Meanie comes out, and we say it every week for the Blue Meanie segments that it's probably going to be an Oh Hell No segment, and I think this is my Oh Hell No because I made a note that this is an Oh Hell No candidate. So Blue Meanie comes out, and he does the whole Sable grind.
Oh, man.
He's acting like Sable and does the whole grind thing.
Glad I missed that.
And I think it's a dig at Sable because Sable is gone at this point. She's off maybe doing another Playboy, and she might not be back for a while, so they're kind of goofing on her. So anyway, the Godfather comes out, and the fans are booing because he walks out with no hose at first. And then he calls the hose out, and then the crowd pops. And this is the Providence crowd. And these girls had some big-ass titties. And so they got these girls from the Foxy Lady. They must have been from the Foxy Lady in Providence. His Godfather has those connections. He's a legit owner of a strip club, and he has been. So he probably made connections with strip clubs from city to city, wherever he worked when he was doing this gimmick. He's like, all right, we'll get your girls, and we'll pay them. And then they all come strut their ass out. So he comes out there. Meanie's going to give Goldust some powder. Godfather's going to hit it back into his face. Goldust can't see anything. He attacks Blue Meanie instead of the Godfather. He gives Blue Meanie the Shattered Dreams, kicks him in the nuts. And Goldust is going to retain the IC title with the Death Valley Driver. And the girls start jumping on Godfather at the end. And one of the girls' nipples pops out and is exposed. and they don't blur it out. It's just there. You can see it. So nothing great, but it was just a fun little segment. The following night, he's going to defend the IC title again. Godfather, defending champion. Like every week, he's defending the title against somebody. So you got him going up against Jeff Jarrett. It's said to be a non-title match at the start, but it becomes an IC title match. Jeff Jarrett wants the title on the line. Godfather agrees, but says if he wins, Deborah has to become one of his finest hoes. Val Venus comes out. He's having a thing for Deborah lately. He's just like going up and stalking her. But Nicole Bass also has a thing for Val Venus going on at this point. So she's out there, and she's pissed that Val is checking out Deborah. So Val Venus runs away from Nicole Bass because she's so fucking nasty. So he runs away. Godfather gets a quick roll-up. He retains the title. Godfather calls Deborah over. Owen Hart's going to run down, grab Deborah, and prevent her from going with the Godfather. Godfather looks a little pissed at first, but then he says, fucking starts dancing with his hose. So Godfather retains. Hardcore title scene. Yeah, Backlash, you had a hardcore title match between Hardcore Holly and Al Snow. The story with that going on lately was Al Snow and Hardcore Holly were waiting to get each other, and Al Snow was constantly interfering in Holly's matches against his opponents, not against him. He didn't want anybody else to win the hardcore title. So we have this match here, and it's all over the fucking place. It's pretty solid for a hardcore match. It's always some, great fun with the hardcore matches. Well, ultimately, you're going to get a new hardcore champion. Al Snow wins, and he hits him with head to get the win. So Jerry Lawler has a funny line at the very end of the match. He says, after all that, the head beat him? So, they did all this crazy shit throughout the hardcore match, and then he just hits him with fucking head and knocks him out. And then on the next Raw, Hardcore Holly attacks Al Snow backstage, and he wants a rematch for the belt. The tag title scene. They're just building up to the match at Backlash, which is going to be New Age Outlaws versus Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett. So on Raw 308, you have two separate matches, Road Dogg versus Owen Hart, Billy Gunn versus Jeff Jarrett. And nothing really to talk about there, other than actually, this is the debut of Puppies. Okay, so Shane McMahon had once said it back on Heat. He said, puppies, check out those puppies.
But it never really picked up steam.
Right, never picked up steam. But here on April 19th, Road Dogg calls Owen Hart's tag team and Jeff Jarrett. He has a name for it. He calls it Canadian Country. And I thought that was a pretty good name, mixing the two. Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart, Canadian Country. Road Dogg says he wants to see Deborah's puppies if he wins. So as I said, Shane had said it previously. Now Road Dogg says it. And then Jerry Lawler is going to repeat it here. And then he continues to repeat it every week from that point on. So Jerry Lawler steals the line from Road Dogg and makes it his own from that point on. And then even the crowd, just even a week later, the crowd has the signs up. Puppies, puppies, puppies. So it became huge right here at this point. All right. And like I said, Billy Gunn and Jeff Jarrett have a match. And that brings us to the pay-per-view. It's not a tag team title match. It's a number one contenders match for the tag team titles because the tag team title champs are Kane and X-Pac. And that match is going to be reserved, the tag title match is going to be reserved for later in the week when they do the SmackDown special, the 2-hour special on UPN. And that's where that match will occur. So the winners will face Kane and X-Pac there at SmackDown. All right, so you got New Age Outlaws versus Jarrett and Owen Hart. Billy Gunn in the end is going to hit Owen Hart with the Famouser while giving a sharpshooter to Road Dogg. And that's going to earn him the win. They get the title shot against Kane and X-Pac on SmackDown. All right. And then on the next Raw, the night after Backlash, Kane and X-Pac are going to have a match with the Brood. And Kane and X-Pac win pretty damn easily there. And they just kind of reiterate that this is going to be this tag team match coming up in a couple days. But X-Pac and Kane are kind of pissed at each other. The Brood attacks Kane after the match. Kane gets a bloodbath. Kane is covered in blood. He gets confused, and he starts attacking X-Pac. So X-Pac is pissed off. He's looking for Kane. And he says, get your big red ass out here. And he's pissed off. So later in the night, Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett are going to attack X-Pac again while he's calling out Kane. Kane comes out, and he saves X-Pac. But X-Pac is still barking at him like a little dog. So Kane picks him up again, choke slams him, and walks away. And now, 3 days later, they're going to defend the titles. And we'll be watching that match, and we'll talk more about that. We'll be watching that match along with you guys, but we'll talk more about that in a few moments. Okay, now, we talked about Val Venus. He's getting his ass chased around by Nicole Bass. And then we got the return of Beaver Cleavage. So I had said about 3 episodes ago, the Beaver Cleavage, was something I wanted to follow along with, just because it's ridiculous. But we finally got another vignette of Beaver Cleavage, and they actually show him this time, and they show his mother. So this one's about morning breakfast. So he says, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So Mosh now, at this point, he has a fucking full head of hair, so he grew his hair out while he was becoming Beaver Cleavage. And he's having shredded wheat And it's from Stop and Shop, but they had the Stop and Shop logo kind of covered up, so it doesn't reveal it. But that's what he has. It's all black and white, too. And he's eating the shredded wheat. He spits it out. Too dry. And then his mother comes in.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's so stupid. His mother comes in with some milk and says, "Do you want some of mother's milk?" And she like bends over and puts her tits like towards his face, and he's like smiling. It's just creepy. But that's it. That's the bottom line Attitude update. So we're all caught up to April 26, 1999. And let's go to oh hell yeah moment first. Let's change things up here. What do you got for an oh hell yeah moment?
My oh hell yeah moment is The Rock, the moment during the Backlash pay-per-view match where The Rock has control of the camera and he's pegging off Austin, and they're pretty much screaming at The Rock to turn around, and he turns around and Austin's up off the mat, pegs the fingers back, and I believe stuns him.
Yeah, that's a great moment.
So that was my hell yeah moment.
Yeah, that's a great moment. But I'm gonna go with my
It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough because there's a few good moments, but I'm gonna go with the monster truck moment where he.
Yep, that was my two.
Yeah, he crushes the hearse, and he also crushes The Rock's car. Those are great oh hell yeah moments for me. Oh hell no! I'll go oh hell no first. I already kind of said it, and you didn't see it, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to use it. But it's the Blue Meanie doing a sable grind, and also getting involved in the match, and getting his nuts whacked by Goldust in his Shattered Dreams. So Blue Meanie is kind of just oh hell no, and I don't not like Blue Meanie because I loved the Blue Meanie in ECW. I thought he was funny, but now he doesn't seem to fit here. I mean, it's the Attitude Era, but it still just doesn't seem to fit right. What do you got for an oh hell no?
Well, unfortunately, since I didn't see that segment, Blue Meanie gets a pass this week from me. But we kind of alluded to it earlier, considering I've been giving him a lot of props, and you had your reservations at first about the campiness of the Undertaker.
Yeah.
The laugh.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
That was for me. That was just like, eh.
Where to, Stephanie?
That was enough to warrant it. Yeah, when I'm giving a guy the props as often as I am, I gotta call it when he sucks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that was bad.
Yeah, that was the first time that you ever said anything like bad about this Undertaker character, current angle.
Yeah.
All right, so those are all hell yeah.
It was unwarranted. Wasn't needed.
Yeah. And it was right at the end of a good match.
Jump the shark there.
They should have done it. I don't know, because I guess Vince was out there, so it had to be later. Oh, whatever. Okay, so we got those oh hell yeahs and oh hell no's. So let's go tell the house show rundown. And we're starting with April 19th. And they don't do a show on April 19th, so that'll bring us to April 20th. And there's not a house show, but there is something significant that happened on April 20th. And I think they'll mention it on the next Raw. Maybe they even mentioned it on this Raw, but Rick Rude passed away at age 39 on April 20th, 1999.
They mentioned on the Raw we just covered
at the start beginning.
Of the show. They do like a little black and white
picture.
Rick Rude.
Yeah. All right, so I should mention that though, that Rick Rude passed away, and I can't believe he's only 39. But yeah, he was basically done wrestling at this point, but still could contribute.
Yeah, 39
yeah,
too.
39 years old.
He seemed so much older because of how
long he'd been around.
Getting phased out of. Yeah, and he was getting phased out as an actual like performer. They give him like managerial roles, enforcer roles.
Right.
He really wasn't. No. He had a neck issue though, right?
Yep. Yeah. All right, so that happens there. April 22nd at South Bend, Indiana, you get Austin and Big Show team up, and they take on The Rock and Triple H. 23rd at Toronto Skydome, you get the same match. Austin and Big Show defeat Rock and Triple H. And then we go to Madison Square Garden for one of their big shows. They do the 10-bell salute for Rick Rude here at Madison Square Garden on April 24th. And then we get the main event, Austin and Big Show defeating The Rock and Triple H, when Austin pins The Rock with the stunner after The Rock collided with the Mean Street Posse on the ring apron. Then that brought us to the Backlash, and then the following night, Hartford, Connecticut. And then that catches us up. And then we'll be at April 27th, and that is the day of the taping for the SmackDown debut, which will be on April 29th. Now we can get to that. Upcoming on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast next week, we're doing a special edition, so we're going to put the storyline on hold slightly. Okay, not even really, because we're watching the next episode. We're watching the next thing of WWF television. That is that SmackDown special. It's the pilot episode, April 29th, 1999. And so this is the first one. This is the first one before it comes on weekly. It won't be on weekly until August of 99. So here's the first one. So
this is more of like a pilot.
Yeah,
correct?
A pilot, and they're calling it a special. They're not even saying that it's a new show. They're saying that this is just a 2-hour special on the UPN network. Is how they're at.
Which falls in line with The Rock making his, face turn here.
You know what's interesting with that is you have the SmackDown special is what they're calling it, and then like 5 months later or so will be the SmackDown show on UPN. So yeah, it's like a pilot to just test it or whatever, and it's already in the works that it's going to be a show, but they want to see some numbers probably ahead of time.
Yeah,
and that is exactly what happened with talking modern day. You had the NXT special on USA a few months back, and now
good point.
And now they're coming back on USA. So it probably already had been in the works for a while for NXT to be on USA. So I think that might be something that people that are thinking that, WWE is panicking, they had to put NXT on Wednesday nights to compete with AEW. I think that was already their plan anyway before.
I don't. I don't.
Because just of that whole, the way that works is that USA knew that SmackDown was not going to be on their show anymore. They still want ratings. So if they're not going to have SmackDown and that's going to Fox, then we need something to replace SmackDown.
Well, but it's a totally different day.
Yeah.
So basically they made a decision to whatever the hell usually aired on Wednesdays to replace it. If they were really concerned about losing the viewers, I think they would have been more concerned about filling that spot.
Tuesday.
I think it just worked out.
Yeah.
I think,
yes.
I don't know. I'm not buying that.
I don't know. I just don't always think it's so reactionary.
AEW lit I think it's definitely reactionary.
All right. I mean, that's the common belief anyway. So. All right. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. But yeah, next week, guys, special edition, not episode 48, just a special edition watch along, like we often do. SmackDown pilot, April 29th, 1999. So just a few days after what we just finished up covering. And then the following week, we'll be back with episode 48, covering the beginning of May of 1999. Next week, also, it's 1 year anniversary of the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So that's why we're doing the special edition watch along. And it works out perfectly because it's the very first SmackDown. So it's a good one to do.
Really? We started in September?
Yep.
Oh, no
September next week. 1 year.
No kidding.
So there it is. It's not often that podcasts last an entire year with episodes being released every single week on time. So I think we've done some great work over the past year. This
with watch-alongs and everything, we're well over 52.
Oh, yeah. We're at like 65 episodes.
Yeah.
All right, so that's coming up next week. I want to shout out to some of our friends, Talking Taker, who has been going at it for even longer than a year with weekly episodes. They cover the Undertaker's career from start to where they currently are at with episode 109, No Way Out, 2005, where last week I said it too. They're like, they're going to have a great time with a Heidenreich match. Well, this week it gets even better. They have an Undertaker versus Luther Reigns match. Fucking Luther Reigns. Not Roman Reigns. Luther Reigns. And I don't remember who the fuck that is from No Way Out in 2005, from February of 2005. I don't think I was really watching much at that time. So check them out and take a listen to Alex Dario talk about the show Talking Taker for a moment.
Dead man walking.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Stone Cold fans? This is Alex Dorio, one of the hosts of Talking Taker. And along with my co-host and fellow creature of the night, Travis White, we are digging up the career of the dead man, one pay-per-view match at a time, on a podcast journey that's a lot like what you're listening to right now on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So if you're enjoying what Mike and JV are doing here, going through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, come check us out as we explore The Undertaker's 3 decades of destruction. We're right in the midst of the Biker Taker era right now, so you can jump right in or start over from the beginning and hear us discuss The Undertaker's side of the story from his many battles with the Rattlesnake, The Rock, Mankind, and more. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, and more. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Talking Taker. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy. What? I said take her easy.
All right, so be sure to check out Talking Taker. And also check out Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast with Mike Mills, Hardbody Hopper, and Doc Turner. And they are covering NWA, WCW Saturday Night episodes from 1988. They're currently covering May 14th, 1988. That episode is available this Thursday. And then next Sunday, and always on Sundays, they drop their Smoky Mountain Wrestling Recap. And they are at episode 160, covering February 18th, 1995. So check out Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast. And also check out their $5 tier on patreon.com, where you can get more of JV and I. And not only all the 65 episodes or so of Bottom Line Cast, but we also have about 9 episodes of the Extreme ECW Livecast out there, where we're breaking down in watch-along format week by week of ECW, early ECW, 1993. So check that out at the $5 tier at patreon.com/Booking the Territory. And also be sure to check out our boy Jay Free on Free Your Geek for all things geekiness and nerdiness and just the things that you like, such as comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, anything pop culture wise. Jay Free touches on it from time to time. So definitely a show worth checking out. It's Free Your Geek, and this week would be episode 80. I don't know the current topic for that episode yet, as it has not dropped yet, but episode 80 is coming out within the next couple of days. So check out Free Your Geek.
And I think 79, I just listened to it. I think it was 79 I listened to. They kind of go over the Disney Plus shows.
Oh, okay.
So stuff like the Marvel shows coming to Disney, the Star Wars stuff. So it's actually a good listen if you're looking to get insights to where, if you're into that and you kind of want to see what direction Disney's going with the whole Disney Plus service.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't get to hear that one yet.
Yeah, it was 79 or 7 was one of them. I
79
caught up on a couple episodes.
It might have been 78, actually. Who was on it? Was it with Saul or was it with...
I listened to the one with Saul,
okay.
And I listened to the one with the Don.
Oh, okay. So those are the last two. That was 78 and 79. That was one of those then. All right, so you want to reach out to us?
What?
You can find us on Twitter and on Facebook at Bottom Line Cast. You want to find us on Twitter and reach out to us? I'm at MPRU83.
What?
JV is at John Van Damage.
What?
So find us there on Twitter and also, like I said, on Facebook.
What?
Please consider giving us a 5-star review on iTunes. As I say every week, it's supposed to help us, I guess. But we would also just love to hear a review of what you have to say and what you like about the show, if you enjoy it.
Unless it's absolutely garbage, then don't
do it at all.
Don't. We don't want your star.
Like
do
your parents always said, you don't have anything good to say, then don't say it at all.
Yeah. So we want your feedback, but I guess we're really kind of being selective. We're kind of being pieces of shit about it.
Yeah, we want good feedback.
Yeah.
If you have bad feedback, if you have bad feedback, if you have negative feedback, then I'm at MPRU83. Yeah. Maybe he's at John Van Damage. You can send it to
tweet us. Give us an opportunity to fix it.
Don't just ruin it for us. That's a thing, though. People do that. They write reviews that are just shitty on purpose to fuck with people.
Yeah, it's called the media, like what they did to Dave Chappelle's Comedy Hour.
Oh,
they totally fucking thrashed it, and that's a brilliant piece of comedic fucking writing.
They had like 5 dickheads do it, and then they gave it 0, right? 0.
Yeah. They went to Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes picked 5 like pros, and fucking gave it all 0. And then, of course, like Vice, all these fucking like, all right, I'm not going to get political, but if you're far right, I hate you. If you're far left, I hate you. Don't be far anything. Right. And what they did was they got like these far left fucking people to review it. These 5 people who like very like anti, sensitivity and fucking pro sensitivity, I guess would be the sense. And they gave it a 0. And then once the masses came out, the regular people like us, fucking,
try to correct it.
Give it all like a perfect score.
But then what I heard is that they shut it down so nobody else could put ratings. So it's kind of stuck.
Yeah. Did they? That's messed up because it's fucking Dave Chappelle. He's a comedian. Right. What comedians say is in the fact they're not preaching hate.
Right.
So if you haven't watched it, go fucking watch it. You will die crying.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet, so I can't wait to watch it. So I got Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr back to back that I'm going to watch this weekend. I can't wait.
Dude, Dave Chappelle's brilliant. It might be better than his HBO special from like 2000. The Big Bird jokes and all that. Yeah, like the baby in the limo and shit, like they're selling drugs. Yeah. It's fucking. This one might be better than that.
You got some crack, Bird.
Yeah. Hey, Bird, you got some smack, Bird. That's I love all Chappelle's, but that was my favorite one. Yeah. I think this one just topped it.
Oh, man, then I definitely got to watch it. Because we watched that 2000 one over and over again.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Some parts you just shake your head. You're like, ooh. You got to like watch who's around you when you're laughing at it. You never know who might be offended.
All right, guys. So definitely check those out. Write us a review, all that shit. Thanks, guys, for listening. And we'll be back next week with a special edition watch along for SmackDown, April of 1999. Watch along with us for our special anniversary for our 1 year. And for those of you that have been around for the ride, thanks so very much. And hope you continue on if you are new to the show. I'm Mike Prue along with JV, and we are out of here. So long.